Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a quick evaluation on a property. We're going to find a property and we're going to analyze it through the Bigger Pockets tools. We're going to use some of the BP tools on their website, and we're going to be using the MLS. So we're going to find a property in the MLS. We're going to search for a property for a client slash investor that is looking to buy a home um, that could potentially turn a higher cash flow in the future with an ADU or doing some sort of creative approach with the property. So let's see if we can find something, and then we'll analyze. Alrighty. So in the MLS, we are going to go to a quick search. I am going to select only active. I don't want to look at anything that's pending already. I don't care about the price right now. I'm just going to see what I find. So I'm going to select active, and then I'm going to do, instead of doing normal bedrooms and all that, I don't really know what I'm looking for, right, for this pretend client investor. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to, in order to be able to help our clients, we have to sometimes essentially take their role and we search for them. So that means that we have to pretend to be them. So you have to think as an investor. In this particular case, our client is an investor. So let's think as an investor. You don't really know what you're looking for. You just know that you have some cash burning a hole in your pocket, and you want to invest it. You want to put it to work already. So as long as the house makes sense, the numbers make sense. Right now, you really don't care what you're looking for. You're open to creative opportunities as well for financing, non-traditional financing. So um, right now, we're just going to be exploring. We do know of a couple of areas. So let's check out, for example, let's go here into Logan Heights. So we're gonna go into Logan Heights. Just as an example, let's put an outline. Let's go, sure, let's go there, to the other side of the highway, and then back. So let's look in Logan Heights. Let's see what we find. There are only two properties in Logan Heights, it looks like, that are for sale. This one is 4020 Level Avenue. 170 versus 190. Let's see what the pictures show us. Outdated. Everything looks to be outdated. So it may be a little pricey for... Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like everything here is outdated. Let's analyze this one. This one seems promising. But let's check this one out. Now I'm curious, but let's this one has a nice curve appeal. Southwestern, reminds me a little of Southwestern modern inside. So that's really nice. A little Southwestern with a modern contemporary approach inside. Okay, so let's look at this one. One of the things I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna open a tab just to have it for reference. This is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Definitely, if it's only a one full bath, then it is definitely overpriced. Well, let's look at this. It's 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It's huge. It's 2,000 square feet. And dishwasher, treatments, confidential remarks, gorgeous, whatever, FHA, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's copy the address. Let's go to EPCAD and let's see if we can find an address information. So let's go to EPCAD for El Paso. This is where we'll get some taxes information, some history. If we go back to the MLS real quick, we'll click on Remind. Remind will open almost a slight version of the EPCAD, just with a little bit of MLS value added to it. So we get some more history and information than what than what EPCAD gives us. On EPCAD, we're going to click details, and this is where we're going to see some information. We're going to confirm who owns the property, Rosa and Jesus, Rosa and Anna. So here we have different names, so we would have to confirm that. That could be a possible issue eventually. It could be an easy fix as well. But let's just compare some numbers real quick. Their asking price is $170. Remind says that the house is worth about $2,000 more than they're asking. Assuming it was completely paid for, then they would have $2,000 over their asking right now. So Remind is assuming that this house is underpriced. That's essentially what this is saying. Because the house is fully paid for, it says they have an equity of 172. Otherwise, if whatever they owe would have already been subtracted, and then you only see whatever equity they have left in this section here. In this case, the home appears to be paid for completely, and so that's why they have 100% equity plus 2,000 for the estimated value. Now, on Remind, if you go to the right, you see listing details, public record information, taxes and assessments. This is where you see it's almost the same thing as EPCAD. Tax jurisdiction, let's go to 21. The tax jurisdiction, and you see what it was tax time, with and without exemptions. I like to go to the valuation part because it gives me a more realistic assumption than what Zillow would give us. If we go to Zillow, let me go to Zillow real quick. Let's type in that address, Level Avenue. That didn't work. Okay, let's try it again. Alrighty, 170. So you see how they vary. Zillow is saying that the home is worth around 149. Now we don't trust Zillow. Zillow was, we just don't trust it. We don't like to necessarily assume that one source is accurate. So if we go back to Remind, right, you see a $10,000 difference. But what I like about this is that they are providing us the sources, right? So this is critical. So this is one of the reasons why I, as an agent, I prefer to, if I'm going to trust someone that is not myself, I will trust Remind versus over Zillow. Only because Remind does provide us the sources, and you can clearly see that all these amounts, etc., are turn out to an average of the median for this. So this is a reliable number to use if you follow these assumptions and you give some sort of credibility to each one. Then they would, assuming that they'll have some sort of accuracy, then this one should be reasonable as well. So I like to use the Remind for a quick value estimation at the bottom. This is the asking price, and this is what we more or less think it's worth. And I agree. I have seen a home, in this particular case, I have seen a home where it's almost literally the same home, same size, one more bathroom, just as outdated. Well, actually not as bad. And it's sold for $200,000 in a much better area. So, yeah, I think this is overpriced at 170. If you wanna another way to check if it's overpriced is by checking at the list price per square foot. And so you can see that if you were to divide the square feet that this house provides, right, with the asking price, you will get a total list price per square foot of $81.73. And so all you have to do is compare, for example, this one, which is 2,000 square feet, versus, let's go back to this one real quick, right? This one is 1,364, and this one is priced at 139. So if you were to compare it with that, you would think that this one is cheaper, right? But for, what is it, $50 more per square foot, you're getting a modern home in a similar location, right? With a move-in ready condition, ready to flip, priced almost identically. The only difference is that you're sacrificing a few square feet. So this home is overpriced, which is why it's a good example. So that's a quick way to check. Now let's go to the calculators. If you are a premium member, you will see something like this when you log in into Bigger Pockets. Um, if you're not for now, just follow me. And if you're interested, let me know and I can run a calculation for you. Let's assume that because it is an investor or it would be an investor, we're going to do a calculation first for rent estimator. And then we're going to do another one for our mortgage payment. Well, we're going to do the mortgage payment first and then the rent estimator, or vice versa. And then we would have, for example, the rental property calculator. So let's enter the address into this portion, and we think it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. So it looks like based on the rental history for the market, a recommended rental price is about $875. I can tell you from using Bigger Pockets and then comparing it to my own market from the MLS, Bigger Pockets is very conservative, usually by $50 to $100 on their estimation. So if this is telling me $875, I would say maybe $950 would be the current market rental rate. So it's a medium confidence level. It's not too good, but in this market condition, it's a good initial sign that at least it's not negative or low. So $900 for 190 property. Let's see if it works out, right? So first we're gonna do, if it's an investor, depending on the program that they have, they may have to do 20%. If they do 20% of, what was that, 170, right? It was 170,000. Yep, 170,000. And then they pay only 80%, well, 20% down payment, so their loan will be 80%. 80% of 170 is 136,000. Let's say that they do 30-year loan period at, let's just be conservative and let's do 6.5 interest rate. Annual taxes, we saw that it was around 300. What was it, 3,100? I think it was. Yeah. So just for extra margin, let's do 35. And then insurance, typically at 1.52% of the loan amount. So let's do 1,500. And our monthly payment would be around $1,276. So the monthly payment will be around $1,276, while the suggested possible rent as is less than $1,000, about $900. But as you can see, you have other properties that have been renting for around $1,000 with two bedrooms, 1 bath. And the problem here is that if this home only really has 1 bathroom, it doesn't matter how many bedrooms you get, you only have 1 bathroom. So it's almost priced the same way as a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It's the same thing. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath would probably rent higher than this home the way it is now. So an investor will have to buy it, add a bathroom, and possibly convert maybe an extra space and have an extra bedroom. Since there is a significant amount of square footage in this property, you could possibly add another bedroom and have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, Section 8, ready to rent at around $1,500, $1,600. Maybe 14 more realistically speaking. Assuming you don't do an extra bedroom, it would still be a really good deal. But let's make sure on and check my assumptions. And let's go to the calculator. Let's go to the rental calculator. Now that we know our estimated payment, we know more or less what it'll rent for. Let's enter the address. No, that's not the address. The address is, where was I? 4020 level. Okay, next to purchase. We're gonna buy it at, they're asking 170. That house is not worth 170, but I think that house is worth around 150, 140. But let's run it at 170. Let's say that we were to buy it at 170. Closing costs are about $5,000. We will be rehabbing this property. The ARV for this, I think, comparables, and I haven't done an ARV CMA for that, but I have dealt with some properties similar to this in a similar area, and I would say that the ARV could be realistically around 205,000. The we're not gonna spend a lot. A wall adding a room may take 4 or 5 grand. You do, assuming you have an egress already. And then adding a bathroom. So let's say you spend, let's say 17,000. Let's say 15 grand conservatively. You put 20% down. You get 6% interest rate. You get 1 point charged. You do a 30-year term loan. Let's say that once we have rehabbed it, our investor is able to rent it for $1,450 a month. Let's see so we can always work around with the purchase price and in our calculation to see what works, but you should be very conservative and never adjust necessarily this number, because this is more of a real world condition that you need. So don't meddle with that one. Don't change it. Expenses, we're gonna put what was that, 3,300, just in case they go up a little bit. Insurance 1,500, just like the other one. When you're renting a property, investors always consider 5% from each month's rent. That goes accounted for possible future repairs that they need to save up and put aside for now. So every month, a landlord will put 5% away for repairs, 5% away for vacancy. Vacancy just means that there is a chance that you may have to cover a month or two in between tenants at some point. And so the 5% every month should help you save up towards that future possible expense. This is important to know because a lot of investors consider the five, like I'll put 5 on each, right? On this one, it may be 7, closer to $100 a month for the managers, the property managers. But if doing 5 for each, a lot of investors freak out when they see that they don't have any cash flow or little cash flow when they are accounting for 15% of their monthlies already going into possibilities that, it could happen. You want to be safe, but there's a good chance that they also won't happen as much as or at all as expected. So, but it's just a good thing to have. Some people do operate by more. It really just depends on the risk level that somebody wants to take. 5% is the lowest suggested one. My landlord won't. My client buyer, who will become a landlord, won't pay any utilities. There's no HOA fees, and they won't pay any garbage. The tenant will pay for everything. In my calculator, that's how I'm doing everything right now. Landlords won't pay. So this is a result. So it looks like if we were to buy this house at 170,000, it looks like I was right. It wouldn't cash flow. It's too expensive at 170. So when it's to happen, look, let's go back over here. So we would be negative cash flow of $125 every month. So unless you're a big company, and maybe not even then, but unless you're a big company, you wouldn't want to buy this property to hold it until it gets paid off. As you can see, that this is a graph showing you the time, and this green is the value of your property. This is at about where you buy it, right? You're buying now, it's worth around 170, 180. Then next year and in year one, right? And then you have, it goes a little bit. So it's expected to go to around, 190, 200, 210 range. And then it continues to go up. And as the price of the property go up, it's expected that in year 20, in year 30, year 20, year 30 range, you would have close to 300,000 to 400,000 in equity, in value in a property, while the loan balance, which is a purple, will be declining during the same period. So at this threshold here, it's telling you this is where the compounding of your savings and your growth accelerate, right here. Um, so unless you're a big company, you're willing to wait and lose money on a monthly so that you can recuperate that when you sell. Most investors won't buy this property with a negative cash flow. But let's go back and let's say that we negotiate this property down to 45 40,000. I think this house should really be worth around 135. I think this house is worth around 135. Let's go through expenses. Everything will stay the same. Now let's update the analysis. You can see that the real world scenario hasn't changed. 305, 370 by year 20 and 30. So again, don't change the real world conditions. But anything that you can negotiate, like the purchase price, you can always explore and see what is the best value or the best buy point. As you can see, the suggested or the projected amount is to cash flow $50 a month. That's not a lot. That's almost a break even, right? So, but at least in this situation, somebody could say this is worth a buy because you're not losing money, and it's somebody's essentially paying your equity. So it's a free property over a period of time. Um, Most investors won't put in that much money down for a property that will need to be parked there for a long time. So what you need to do is get creative so that you find alternatives to lower their expenses so that if you cannot increase the rent, at least you're lowering their overall expenses. Um, that can be in the loan amount, it can be in the overall purchase price, in the terms, in the interest rate. There's different lenders, different banks. Um, there's different lenders that may, uh, let's see, do it like that may have investor products similar to conventional and government-backed loans. So it's worth exploring if you can save a point or 2 points on a loan, because everything makes a difference depending on what you do. I think this house could probably be negotiated down to maybe 120, maybe 100. Yeah, just about. I think I could probably get this one down to 120. But again, it didn't work out at 135. Let's see if we can do at 100. What would happen at 100? 220. So we would need 220 to cash flow. Um, we would get to 20 in cash flow if we were to buy close to 100,000. That's not too bad. It's not ideal, but it's not too bad. But through a traditional investor program, this probably wouldn't work. Anyways, so this is a short report. This is just so that you can see how to evaluate a property. Um, this at this price is as weak as we found out. It's overpriced. Um, if you are a client of mine and you would like to submit an offer, let me know. Um, I probably wouldn't do, like I said, more than 130 for this house. It doesn't have to be a complete gut job, but you do have to touch and acknowledge pretty much everything, and acknowledging still costs a lot of money for a buyer. So maybe 130, 135 should be the max, assuming you can salvage half of what's in there and just work around it and maybe do a combination of modern and classic. Um, Anyways, yeah. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if you wanna, if you have any questions or what other topics or what else to cover or dig in deeper. So yeah, let me know. I hope you like this video.